And what I think the cut might go for, the other matchup we see that the cut specifically like to pull out is the Bloodseeker. It's something that it gives vision for the Nyx Assassin when he's slow. It's something that really puts a damper on the Troll World whenever he pops his ulti.
All right, Shadow Shaman.
CM pick for the Beast.
What
This
about
Beast
the
not gonna
Wraith
have a
King?
fun time.
Something that they like to play a lot on Scourge, and not a bad matchup into the Troll.
And I like it on the cuts. It just feels as if they go for that Wraith King, it might get countered a little bit too hard. They do have the last pick in this phase, so they will be able to really assess 4 heroes and then make a decision then. But depending on what Benjaz plays, I think it might X out a lot of heroes we might see.
Yeah, I'd agree. I think we'll see what happens. This should be good. I really like the draft so far from both teams. The CM here, obviously the big hero at countering out this Beastmaster. Do you run the Coddle off lane anyway now with the Beastmaster so that you can go Axe build? Because otherwise your lane is unplayable.
I think instead you just have to hope that the CM is going to be too busy dealing with the Shadow Shaman. That's what Shadow Shaman does well, is if you're able to beat up on the CM, you're able to put a lot of pressure on him, then you might not have enough time to deal with your Boras. And an out of position CM, that's a perfect punishment hero in the Shadow Shaman.
Absolutely.
Radiant's turn to pick.
Timber Saw!
Oh, it's been banned all day. I forgot about it.
Yeah.
The Timber.
I mean, the Bloodseeker looks even better now.
And I feel like that's what they have to gear up towards. It makes the most sense to me, where Scourge plays it. He's played it before. It goes very well versus every single matchup in the game. And this Timbersaw, you can't pick a straight shooter. You can't pick into it anymore. And you need a hero that could kill him. If anything, Egoboys have covered their tracks really well. Troll is one of the best heroes at killing and dealing with this Timbersaw. And you can't go for the Weaver again. You can't go for a lot of these heroes that are already in. You could go for the Ursa, but it's a stretch.
Okay, they go and take the Gyrocopter.
Complete different direction.
I mean, Little Nick does have a lot of options for the mid lane, but there's going to be, 4 bans coming out here. All of them going to be mid lane heroes. So the question is, which are you actually going to be able to play?
On the Gyro, it feels okay versus the Timbersaw. If anything, it feels nice versus the Nyx Assassin, just because you always have that pressure on him with the homing missile. But again, people were picking Nyx versus Gyro for ages, just because you get the guaranteed stun off of every flat cannon, you get to block 1 bullet, and then you stop him. After that first flak lands, it's all based off his attack speed. You impale him, and that's why it's been almost the age-old counter in day or drafts of old. So it's interesting they pick it up again versus the Nyx, but they did kind of disrespect the Knicks in the first game a lot and got away with it. So I can definitely see them underrating the Knicks a little bit in this game, as most teams have kind of ignored it in most drafts.
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to see the Kunkka and Storm banned out. Obviously, Lil Nyx Invoker, we already talked about. Void Spirit's still in the pool. So is the Ember Spirit. Both these heroes pretty good. I think Ember for Lil Nick right now is kind of the go-to hero, just because you have the synergy there with Keeper of the Light. But I'd be very surprised if that makes it through. I mean, you're playing into the Nyx Assassin, but I think overall it's still a lot of magic damage, Spirit Vessel Builder as well. And like I said, Coddle just makes that hero quite good.
When we've also seen that the Puck has somehow made it through, and I'd imagine either Ego or the Cut will ban it out, as both teams really don't want to deal with that. Egoboys even less so. If they are able to pick it up for Nick, that might be the avenue they go down. I mean, it's almost disgustingly good, and it matches well with the tempo of their lineup. But again, it's hard to discount a Spirit. Even though it's versus the Nyx Assassin, you could always pick up the Void Spirit again, give Nick another shot. It is going to be into a counter. He will not be able to see his matchup before he picks his hero, but again, it's Void Spirit. It's one of the best controlling heroes in the game. We've seen him we've seen him play it pretty much all tournament. I think we might see the Batrider ban coming out from Egoboys. No, they banned Ember.
Yeah,
I think. Did the Cut just pick Bat?
I mean, Batrider wouldn't be bad. They banned the Monkey King. I think the Ember was too good. I think the Ember was like a no-brainer pick for the Cut if they let it through. So that one makes sense to me. But you do have last pick here on Egoboys. And they go back to the Void Spirit.
Here we go. Well, there's no Spirit for Alone to play, but Instant.
That's a good
Okay.
Lycan pick.
Your will upon the
Here we go.
battlefield today.
Alone's going to be playing Lycan. And I'm a little bit worried for the cut. They have kind of gotten... They got last pick Lycan. I mean, at this point in the best of 3, where it's a best of 1 now. They just need to win 1 game, and it feels like Egoboys, they've got everything they want. Benjaz, Timbersaw, one of the best in the game. He's so obnoxious at the same time. Alone, not on a playmaking hero this time around, so a lot of the pressure is going to be on Tano. And Tano is on a more limited hero than the Earth Spirit we typically see him on, but I'm a little bit scared for the cut. I think Egoboys have got them in this draft.
Yeah. Honestly, I don't know if they are going to get enough out of this gyrocopter at all. It is a decent matchup, like in this game, like you said, decent against Timbersaw, does a lot of magic damage. You have Pingo and the Keeper of the Light who can try and burst him down as well, but like Troll has the freest lane. Like Troll will just be able to do whatever he wants this game, and I think with Farm, there is no one that will be able to contest this hero this game.
Well, and even with the Timbersaw matchup where Tingle King is not going to be able to pressure the towers as much as he wants just because Benjaz is going to TP. And of course, Benjaz, like always, the matchup goes, especially versus Tidehunter, where you burn the other offlaner's mana, you try to make him feel useless with the Necro books, but the problem with Timbersaw is it just kills you. He just itemizes like Arcane Boots, Soul Ring, and he'll just continuously run at you. And with the Lycan pick, it just feels like that's the counter to Gyro. Lycan is one of the few heroes that makes Gyro almost nearly unplayable. So unless Nick is really able to get a lot of plays going for his team, I think Egoboys might be able to find the snowball to victory.
Good manners here coming out from both these teams.
That was a mauling.
At least
Yeah,
from
nice
Nick.
level from rapport, especially after eyeing him in the first game. You know, you got to make allies with your enemies after that. Especially banning it twice after in the next drafts. See, Alone is taking a page out of Benjaz's book, item build-wise. Well, you actually see Tingle King keeps pre-skilled axes. He has
Yeah.
no intention of getting Boar. Yeah, it's... I mean, I've seen people, they try to fudge it. They try to, like, let's say they see them use Frostbite, and then they try to play it all, but he's just given up already. He's just going to play Beastmaster the old way, I suppose.
Yeah, I think this is the correct play. There's not a whole lot of sense trying to go Boar into Troll CM. Like it just is free money for them. So
Well, and let's see. It's like pretty standard rune stuff. Not much going on.
Welcome one and all to the main event.
ooh, Tingle King managed to get the top one. I was surprised at him. I actually didn't think he would.
His Rise was just a little bit hesitant walking out the hill. I guess their level 1 was slightly scary, but don't really have a lot of lockdown on their side. Courage also just being all the way bottom. Doesn't really want to do anything. This bot lane is really the make or break it for me for the cut, where you're pretty much automatically going to struggle in the top lane. So if Scourge is not able to really put down this Timbersaw, it's going to feel pretty rough. Good news is you do have Homing Missile. Homing Missile is easily one of the most annoying spells in the game, and once you get a few more levels, it won't be that bad, but it still feels pretty rough.
Yeah. Mid lane,
Especially the
Lil
Coddle
Nick.
versus Nyx.
I would say Lil Nick versus Alone, the Lycan versus the Void Spirit. Now, not a matchup we see all that often, to be honest. We don't see a lot of Lycan mid. It's been kind of a niche pick in a couple of teams, but so far off to a great start as he has 3 denies. That is
It's
one of the
very
benefits. He has a
difficult.
lot of damage.
And once Nick does have a few more points in Resonant Pulse, there are just more units in the mid lane than usual, so he will be able to get a little bit more block, but Alone is just rocking it, actually. Holy cow. Perfect CS.
Yeah, it's one of the things that's a little frustrating is I think a couple times here he's tried clicking on certain creeps and hit a wolf instead, or like had to cancel an auto attack because of a wolf.
And Alone, it's just... he's going to make any hero he plays look good, but it's kind of interesting to see such a high-skill player playing a hero that isn't quite nearly as flashy as some of the others we're accustomed to him playing, like his Morphling.
Bottom lane, we haven't talked about this lane yet. It's Gyro, Coddle versus Timbersaw Nyx. I think overall, lane's going pretty well for the Gyro, sitting at 9 and 4. Timbersaw, however, at 7 and 0. So he's not really struggling either.
He just needs levels on Benjaz. I'm not sure what he has flying out. It could be a stick, but it's really up to Pingu to just keep on hitting the constant illuminates.
Oh,
As when Tano gets level 6, or rather level 2, this Carapace does make it a little bit more difficult, but you're chilling in the spot lane.
You didn't want that.
Well, I mean, I like this decision bottom lane by Tano to just try and give Benjaz as much space as possible, and as a result, I mean, Benjaz has, you know, his level 3 2 points in reactive armor. He's not really ever under threat here of the Gyrocopter. You do have constant harassment from the rocket barrages, but because he has these 2 points in reactive armor and the 1 point in Timber Chain, he should be fairly safe. Top lane, Tingle King might be in some trouble here. Starting to fall pretty low. Nice shackles comes out from Vol, trying to keep his boy alive, and he will do just that.
And it's quite rough. Rises has a big career coming. I believe that's his Wraith band. Could be some more region as well. And there's really never a point where they can get too aggressive.
Vol.
Oh, they're trying.
Vol. I mean, he's going to go down to the CM here. Pops a salve just to make sure he doesn't die. That is a... I mean, that was so costly.
When Rises, it's almost lucky because Rises did get very greedy. Oh, immediately after the board, yeah, this top lane is, it's quite sad. There's not much counterplay. They've literally zero counterplay, as a matter of fact. They're just stuck doing what they can.
Beastmaster does have a good number of CS, though. I mean, he's 18 and 3. He's doing great CS-wise on this Beastmaster.
And that's the power of the Shaman, where it forces the CM to sort of stick in the lane, where otherwise you would be able to pull, you would be able to make maybe a little bit of kill threat. Whereas instead, the Shaman is keeping the CM here, not able to pull or keep the lane under too much control. He's trying to get it done now, but it's still quite rough. But no supports were able to make the rotation for these runes. Tano's still level 1 in the bot lane, and Nick was able to nab a DD, and that's something they have a lot less in this game. They have a lot less control over the map, just straight off the bat.
Vol just dies solo to Crystal Maiden. Yeah.
It's already icing over.
I don't know.
Okay.
He was just attacking her, and then she killed him. That's about it. That's all it was.
And it feels really bad. You don't have boots either, so... Well,
Nothing super flashy there.
At the end of the day, it will be Nick, though, that is going to be making these rotations, that is going to be making these runs, and alone just kills the bounty rune for Nick as well. He's going to be very upset when he comes over and sees that it's gone.
Oof. That's a sick play.
Might even be aware of it. He clips the wolf with his resonant pulse, and otherwise... It's going to get hard, though, because even when you try to gank Benjaz, I feel like you're going to be lacking a lot of that damage you need to kill him. He's just going to be chilling, and you see him queuing up the hood already. As soon as he gets this Void Spirit, they're going to need a little bit more damage than the Void. They might even need to bring the Shaman in. I feel like Egoboys are almost automatically winning a lot of their lanes. Even the lanes that they're drawing, being this Lycan lane, he's just going to necro farm up. He's just going to farm faster than any other hero on the map.
I mean, Benjaz is taking a lot of damage from the level 3 rocket barrage of the Gyro, but again, you don't have like the burst damage and the sustained damage from it without like the chakra magic from Pingu. He needs to be able to get the double rocket barrage off, like solo onto Benjaz if he really wants a chance of taking him down. Otherwise, just too tanky, too much regen.
And Benjaz is doing this very nicely, where even if Pingu is nuking the wave and trying to push the creep waves into it, he's never setting himself up in a position where he doesn't have creeps. He's always constantly pushing in the creep waves and being very aware of the amount of damage Rocket Barrage can do to him at any moment.
Nice creep pull here. I mean, they're just sitting behind the tower trying to get on top of Vol, but they're hiding very far onto the side here. This high ground ward scouting a lot, but it will get dewarded there by Karl.
Alone. He's coming.
And this means it is time for the shapeshift. Vol trying to run through the trees, but they're going to look for Tingle King. Immediately throws the axes to try and run north, but they just chop him down. Rises, finds that kill. And now with this Necro 1, they're going to start doing a lot of work to this tower as well.
And it's unfortunate they do miss out on Vol, but at the same time, Nick can't put nearly as much pressure onto this tower. And alone, even if he decides not to stick around, he's just being incredibly annoying with this Lycan already. And working on almost on that Necro too. It's going to be a sub 8-minute Necro too on alone. And just feels like there's not much that they can do about this guy. They need to bring another hero here. Maybe the Gyro.
Oh man, the cripple.
Oh, Nick.
It's a lot of damage, but they can find Alone here with the Shackle. They take down the Crystal Maiden, and Alone is going to fall down as well. Double kill for Nick. He ends up getting the kill there on his Wolf, but I mean, you extended just a little bit too far. Lycan, not really a fast hero outside of Shapeshift, considering you almost always avoid going for the boots.
When it's surprising, when you show your hand, it's very clear that you don't have Shapeshift and you're playing under that tower so soon. You also saw Tano taking the mid-wave as it was just getting pushed in, and it felt like they thought they had more heroes there than they actually did, and well, Nick doesn't get lucky. That's unfortunate. He would love that Arcane Rune.
Yeah, that would be huge. Alone will instead love that Arcane Rune, as will reduce the cooldown on his next Shapeshifts if he gets a chance to use it. Actually, maybe not. That's going to expire.
And now we're just going to see Benjas starting to prowl up on the map. There's not much that any hero can really do about him. They need to stack a lot of heroes if they want to get kills done, and I'm glad that they're getting more involved this time around on the cut. They're starting to make more plays with this Nick Void Spirit, getting him off to a much better start than the last game.
Yeah. And looking at Rises behind the tower, he does have 0 points available for that battle trance, but he's about to get level 7. Gets it now and just TP's bottom, as Benjaz is now going to go ahead and park himself in the top lane. They're going to try and go for it. Oh, they actually don't connect with the Remnant, and Benjaz is fine.
It's a perfect read from Egoboys that they're getting out. Does Pingu get to TP out? Ooh, barely. Bottom.
Very close, but
Benjaz is just not able to be contested. And this top tower is going to stay alive a lot longer than they would otherwise like, as there's not any, they can't do anything about this Timbersaw. He's going to continue to play here, and aside from making plays mid, it feels like Egoboys are just going to be able to walk around and do whatever they want for the time being. And Scourge, he's getting that Ags as fast as he can, but this feels pretty bad, I think. If you're the cut, you need to get more successful plays going with this Void Spirit. Your other heroes are really kind of slacking with the way lanes went.
You have Roar, Necro 1 available, but I mean, this Beastmaster is so far behind. Toon King does not have the farm that he needs to try and contest this, but
okay,
here we go. Shackle. They're going to go for the call down as well. The question is, can they finish off Benjaz? It looks like they do. The second call down missile, that increased damage, will be able to take him down, and now they will be able to start pressuring this tier 1 tower top.
And those are the perfect heroes that they needed to sync up. Benjaz isn't too worried about that death. You did force 4 heroes to the top lane, and Nick is trying to make a play for this.
God.
Oh, that's just dirty.
How many runes has he lost now?
3 so far, unfortunately. And while you do get the top tower, again, you just get to get this counter pressure every single time. That's why we see them getting this little gold lead popping out ahead. Egoboys are just able to play in more lanes than the cut right now.
Radiant should look to their middle tower.
I mean, Rises just has full reign to do whatever he wants. He has 5,100 net worth. He's getting pretty close to that first, to his first item, the Battle Fury. And after that, you're gonna feel pretty happy to be this troll. Top lane, they're chasing Scourge here. Archer Purge comes out alone. We'll get that assist there as Benjaz takes him down, and Vol found by Tano. Ablano attacks there, and Big Bad Wolf gets him plus a D ward. Nice, nicely done.
And again, almost similar to the previous game where Alone was that Ember Spirit. This is almost another Ember Spirit where the supporting cast is just absolutely helpless versus him. Where every single shapeshift, there's really no place for them. They can't really stand in front of their Beastmaster. If anything, the Menageries are just going to walk past each other. And while they're pushing in this mid-wave, it's a little bit risky. You don't have that ulti. Yeah, they might get
go ahead and roar up the Lycan. Question is, do they have the damage to finish him off? And it looks like with the call down, the magic damage from Little Nick as well.
Oh, he got Beastmaster.
Oh my god.
They killed him with the axes off the
I was like, did he die to the Necro axe? Or like the Necro with the axe? Yep. Alright, death summaries are broken in Dota. That is rather unfortunate.
And now,
Kara's dead as well.
Good kill.
Easy flat cannon kill. Well initiated on there by Lil Nick. And with the ward drop mid, they will get that tier 1 tower. A big win for them.
Oh, nice. They found a DD rune for Nick. Absolutely huge. And Pingu's going to pull Scourge immediately into his stack, and this is the combo that they need. If they're going to accelerate this game any further, they need to sync up, get these unlimited rocket barrages, unlimited flat cannons going, and then this Ags is going to feel a lot better. But at the same time, Egoboys also just need to play a little bit safer. Vol just gets eaten.
You
There's
know,
nothing you
it's
can do
fine.
about it.
It's space, right? Like, Vol is mainly just trying to not allow them to go into the triangle. You know, that would be much worse.
And I really don't know how we're going to get to a point where these supports are going to feel happy. Aside from the blinding light, there really is nothing for them to do except run away from the Lycan. And it's that downtime when the cut need to be actively doing things. And they were able to farm that 1 stack, get this Ags finished on Scourge, but at the same time, he's countered by the Lycan inherently, so it feels like it's almost a losing battle right off the get-go, but maybe they just split push. They just need to wait for this Void Spirit Ags eventually. Keep on trying to get farm out of the waves. Rises is farming up with his Battle Fury.
I mean, where do you go next here on the cut? What's the game plan here? Because Rises, with his Battle Fury, he's going to start accelerating his farm quite a bit, right?
Well, you either need to breach into that triangle, you need to finally use that vision advantage that you drafted for yourselves, or you need to put pressure on towers that are easier for you to grab. This top tower, defending this mid tower, those are still important objectives, but at the same time, Egoboys just have an even easier time. They just say, we're going to do whatever we want, and Rise is going to farm. And they're making a play, what?
They're going to find Pingu here. Now, I'm pretty sure going for Beastmaster.
Oh, no.
Scourge? Oh, he's been found. Okay, that's a fantastic kill, and they might get Beastmaster. No, he's able to escape just barely. Pingu now on the run. Kara in pursuit. Frostbite in 1, grabs him. Set up another kill for Alone here on this Lycan. I mean, this is what makes this hero so good into the Keeper of the Light. There's nothing that you can do about it.
And even, it's just a perfect smoke from Egoboys. They have that beautiful deep vision of from the cut, just seeing pretty much every location. And while there have been Necrocrypts running past it, they haven't found that D ward up on the hill, but the smoke is perfect. They just dive a little bit under. They can't do anything about it. And while they're still able to defend this mid tower, this troll is just uncontested.
I'm going to say one silver lining, I guess, in that last fight is Lil Nick finally got a rune. He finally got a rune.
That is true. And maybe, nope, Vol isn't able to get anyone. And this is the problem. The cut, if they want to win this game, I think they need to get these clean pickoffs where the Egoboys are just, their ego is showing. They're playing in 3 different lanes at the same time and not getting punished for it. And it's those holes that the cut really need to start poking through sooner than later. Because at this rate, it just feels like Egoboys are going to out-farm them, and then they're going to out-game them once they get their item timings.
You do have the Necro 3 being delivered right now on the Beastmaster, which is a huge item for them. Not to mention, the Gyrocopter does have that Ags now. He just wants to kind of stay down and farm on the other side of the map.
And once he gets BKB, the issue is it doesn't solve that Lycan problem. It doesn't solve the troll problem. And again, we see Rise is not going for a greedy build. He's just immediately getting the BKB. And we're going to see this, right? It's a best of 1 at this point. Neither team wants to throw by getting 1 item timing a few minutes late, like we almost saw in that previous game.
Yeah. Top lane, they are just trying to push in once more. They drop the wards behind the TP spot too, so there's not really a good way to approach this if you are Egoboys. And they are just going to go ahead and lose that tier 2 top. Pushing it incredibly fast with the help of the Gyro. Outpost going to be taken here. 17 or 16 and a half minutes into the game. I think if you are the cut, you definitely want to defend this bot tower. I don't think it's worth trying to give up this bottom tower and outpost.
The 50-50 trade does not help them too much. And this is exactly what they should do. Only some of them are smoked, interestingly enough. But This is what they should do. They should try to X down towards that bot wave. They should know a fight's coming, though. Yeah, they need the Hawk to lead.
Rises, his smoke gets popped. Lil Nick walks right into the enemy team. He's got to be careful. He gets the dissimulate off the roar, does catch. Rises on the troll. He doesn't get the battle trance, and Lil Nick trying to run for his life. The haste rune protected. The shackles onto Lycan. They will take down the gyro. A big win for them so far. There's going to be Kara with a huge freezing field, immediately canceled by Lil Nick, and a ton of damage coming in from Pingu. Benjaz trying to take down Tangle King, but a nice sidestep, a beautiful blinding light will send him back, and it's going to be a 4 for 2 as the cut barely survive on a couple heroes here.
And if anything, Nick barely surviving it. That was the linchpin.
Oh, they
switch up his build.
They're going to find Alone here.
No, there's no way.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, he doesn't have the Yules yet. I think his courier died with Yules on it.
I think something like that. And it's incredibly unfortunate that Gyro went down as soon as he did, but Vol sacrificial play. He just sat there. He sat with the dog in the shackles. He was really the sole survivor there. Cool.
Dissimulate. He's trying to set up a vendetta kill here, but it looks like this. Oh my gosh, Lil Nick needs to be careful. He almost goes down, not respecting the damage of that Nyx assassin.
Kara. Oh, this is the problem.
Slowed by the boars. Vol rotating in as well. The Necro 3 giving him the vision, and Bad Boy. He gets slapped down.
And this is that downtime I was talking about, where now Egoboys, they want to not fight you, and they're going to lose at least a little bit of ground while they're actively not fighting. And this is the hole that the cut need to keep on poking through. They need to keep on abusing this. And now Nick, yeah, he has this Yule Scepter, he has a DD rune, and if they're able to abuse the Keeper of the Light, they're able to drag these heroes around, similar to the previous game with the Ember Spirit, I think they can start to cover some big ground.
Yeah, I think you're in a scenario here where if you lose another, whichever team like wins the next fight gets Roshan. Like both teams have an incredibly fast Rosh lineup. Obviously Beastmaster with an Axe Gyro is just going to melt right through that. You can even drop the wards if you want. On the side of Egoboys, I mean, you have Troll and Lycan. It's a joke. So if they find the Timbersaw here, they're a little bit afraid to go up onto the high ground, and rightfully so, as the other several heroes on the team are there. DD comes in from Lil Nick. There's going to be the call down. They're holding Timbersaw in place. Can they actually find these kills, though? Kara comes in, freezing field, holding the Beastmaster down. Great play there from them. Vol gonna fall as well. Lil Nick and Scourge, they're on the run, but it's just the Lycan. He's just running them down one by one. Yule's trying to keep himself from space, but perfectly timed to impale. It's gonna be a 4 for 0 going the other way this time. If you can't kill this Lycan, and this is what you're talking about, they go right into Roshan.
And there's nothing they can do about it. They die just a little bit too close to the pit. I'm surprised the cut didn't read the situation a little bit better and start dragging it over to their side, but it's really difficult now for them to ever win a fight. And again, Lycan, he just walks in. That was his AC finish as well. They were so tanky. There was really no burst damage that could come out, and Rise didn't even need to use his 10-second. That was just never going to go in the favor of the cut.
Yeah, absolutely.
This'll come in handy.
I mean, they just didn't get Roar off in that fight. Like, the Timbersaw did such a good job soaking in the beginning of that fight that it allowed, you know, Rises to just shapeshift and find someone that he wanted to kill and just sends those Necro minions, you know, right at the Gyro. And when there's no real spells left to control him, right, like, he's very happy. It is, like, the best possible situation to be in as a Lycan.
And now I'm not entirely sure what Scourge is gonna do. He's going for his BKB now, but again, it's these 1 to 2 minute timings where it's just a little bit later than usual, and it feels like it's really gonna come back to bite him, and they have to be so careful. Tano's also just been playing out of his mind. He's been the one counter to Nick.
Ooh,
try to get him.
He's got him, but he's in some trouble. He's got to be able to get out of here. The Frostbite holding him in place. Benjaz, the Roar perfectly timed. The question is, what are you going to do with it? The rest of the team's not here. He's just going to Timber Chain on out. Beastmaster once again held in place by this freezing field.
And at the same time, top.
Oh boy, alone. Target sided. What do you do? Oh god, hope Coddle can keep them away.
At the same time, all the pressure is on you. They get a tier 2. They're already on the tier 2 mid. At the same time, Scourge is just begging to get this BKB done. He gets it finished, tries to get the bottom tower, but Again, now you need to be careful for Egoboys. If you overextend, you can definitely get punished while you don't have your Lycan ultimate. It is a 4v5, but I just don't feel like Cut are finding the punishments that they really need to be getting.
They have BKBs on both one positions now, right? Troll Warlord and the Gyro both sitting on those items. You also have a Blink picked up on Shaman, which is huge. It's a great item. The problem is he has to sit so far back and be so selective with his targeting, because otherwise he just gets the Lycan summons thrown at him and he dies.
And aside from that blinding light, that's it. As soon as they gun for him, and Egoboys are going to be looking in the backlines, especially full. Whenever the call is made, they're gonna look for the Shaman. That's the strength of the Shaman. If he's able to get these fights off, or these spells off, he is going to feel really strong, especially once he gets that Ag Shard. But it just feels like everyone is so impoverished on the cut, where Egoboys, it just feels like they've got all the items coming. He's got a Lotus Orb about Benjas now. There's nothing really to slow them down.
Yeah, Benjaz's Lotus Orb is very good. Mid lane, Tano setting up another kill potentially onto Little Nick. In comes the Chakram. He does have Dissimulate and Astral Step, so he should be fine. Yeah, he's out. And then Pingu here with the mana battery.
It's just these small plays where, okay, we didn't kill the Void Spirit, we made him use all of his steps, and we made him make it so that this bot tower is just completely free. We're just going to continue to really eat your map, and what, Age is going to be reclaimed in a minute and 40 seconds.
You don't outpush Shaman wards. that is the thing here. Like, they have
to be careful.
You can push bot. I mean, I guess both these teams just push incredibly fast.
They push so fast.
If given the opportunity. They do send Benjaz back. You know, they smoke up here on the side of Egoboys. They draw the line. They're trying to find someone. Little Nick. He might walk right into him. They get the vision. In comes CM. There's the first root. He gets the Yules. No follow-up stun. Dissimulate. Where is he going? Oh, he goes north.
He's got to go far.
That was actually the one direction he could go, because the Nyx Assassin was just waiting right in the river there, and Lil Nick is out.
Perfect.
Great play
it broke
by
their
him.
ankles a little bit. And their play did work. It did force Benja's back, and then the call to do lanes happened, and that's their one play that you can make every single time Serpent Wards are up. But again, I don't feel like you're really accelerating the pace of the game. It is giving a little bit of space to Scourge. He is able to find a little bit of these creeps. He's able to farm his jungle, but at the same time, Rises is doing that and so much more in a matchup where now that he has this Gold Basher, if he's ever allowed to touch this Gyro, then this Gyro is just gonna die. On top of the Lycan just not even being a factor at that point, which is he's getting a BKB himself.
Yeah.
And then he can kill whichever support he sees fit. Or he's gonna kill some Necro Creeps in the meantime.
Yeah, Gyro really needs like this movement speed talent here at the 20. It's one of those things that, yes, you are running against a more than hasted Lycan, but it does still give you a lot of movement speed to try and kite him out. So we'll see what he can do. Oh gosh, Vol. He's like, I'll at least get the bounty rune, guys. Don't mind me. Going for the TP out. All right, he's safe.
The line is drawn. Maybe able to get a play on Benjaz. Oh, they're trying to take away the Aegis? This is a weird go.
I mean, they're going to try mid lane. Scourge gets pulled right into this fight, and you lose the Coddle. The Roar does come out, holding Troll Warlord down. And
no Aegis.
The damage, they get him. Oh my gosh, and now Tano needs to get on out. The Archer Purge holds him in place. I hear it, Shackle. They found the Timbersaw. Double kill for Scourge, and honestly, Tingle King's not going to be done chasing here, I don't think. He really wants to find him. Nah, he's going to escape. Okay.
And again, it's the Egoboys. Their Aegis was 20 seconds post-expired. Lycan, he's popping his ultimate now. I'm not sure what are they really gonna go for this?
He's just gonna kill Volt.
Okay, goodbye, Volt.
He's like, I see a shaman mid. Hello, sir. The world's most dangerous chicken, basically.
And I don't think Rise is really expected to die there either. He popped his BKB incredibly late. It was something that really came out of mind. In fact, I thought he had Aegis for a second there with the way he was playing, but the one being on the other side of the map, it still feels like Egoboys have the ball in their field, where it's going to be even more difficult if the cut aren't able to get some of these bigger item timings. I mean, Nick does have the Ags finally. He will be able to put out a lot more damage and control, but it's still it's an uphill battle. Scourge needs maybe after this butterfly +1 item, and then we'll start seeing the game really to turn in their favor. But this next Roshan is going to be the make or break moment.
I mean, you're right. I mean, it really is. The problem is like Beastmaster is still getting a lot done with like getting a solid roar off in one of these fights if he does it. But he's so low on net worth. Like if he's able to pick up like this Vlad's, this Solar Crest, this Gyro is going to be so much scarier. Not even just like Gyro's items, right? Like Gyro being enabled by this would be huge. So we'll see if he can get there. The Orb of Destruction pickup. I'm assuming that's going to stay on the Gyrocopter. Yeah, it's quite nice. Doesn't apply off Flat Cannon, but still does some serious work.
And they were smoked up. They were trying to get in here, but I don't think they realize how many cut heroes are here.
Yeah, I was going to say, there's space though. Shaman just going to drop wards up on the high ground. He's going to tank this, and yeah, here comes Alone. He's sending in the boys, but on the backside, the fight's breaking out. They're going for Benjaz here on the Timbersaw. The BKB from the Gyro doing what he can. They take down the Nyx. And now Rise is on the run. The Yules is there. There's got to be some follow-up. They need the Roar. He's going to pop the BKB, but he gets the Battle Trance immediately. Scourge going to do what he can. Protected for the moment. Has a lot of evasion here, but Alone, his ultimate's expired. They're able to just kill the Gyro. They trade 1 for 1. They're triple kill for Little Nick. They got a lot left. Alone, you're a slow man. He's got to escape, and they find Troll on the backside. The Necro units plus the chase.
Oh,
they're going to get all 5. There is no escape here on this Lycan. The Yules. Well, yeah, there's no escape. I was like, there's no way he's out, right? Yeah, he is super dead. Double kill for Tingle King. I mean, again, this is similar to game 1 where we're like, if these fights are delayed, it favors the cut, right?
Definitely.
And this is exactly what we see. The BKB goes out. Even though they killed the Gyro, the damage was definitely done. And then you're dealing with this Beastmaster, this Necro, all of the slows and control from the Coddle, Void Spirit, and the Shadow Shaman. He actually misses the stun on the Shadow Shaman. Might cost him.
Bringing Nick back in. He has to wait for his second charge.
There's the Blink Shackle. What a play from Vol. Now, an immediate cancel on the freezing field. He doesn't get any damage out of it, and now Crystal Maiden in some serious trouble as well. The Timbersaw's coming up in 2 seconds.
Oh, so easy.
Keeper in range for that sentry. They are able to pull the Gyrocopter back in from the base. They're going to try their best. Volt, Blink. He's going for the Shackle? No, he just wants to get the racks. Scourge is here. This is his timing. You're not going to have a better chance here to get this barracks. And now with the Troll Warlord respawning, it's time to leave.
And that's just perfectly played from the cut. That was actually insane. If anything, that all harkens back to Vol. Blink on top of that tier 3, putting the pressure there like an ulti to try to find him. And I don't know if it was a bait. I don't know if he even completed his TP, but he just baited the Lycan, wasted so much of his time.
Yeah,
and
the Lycan ran all the way north for the Shaman. Oh, the Blink. The Shackles.
No.
They've got the Troll Warlord. There's no save. The burst. 80 seconds. Oh, that is as bad as it gets. He just died back to back.
They had no clue where the cut went. They must have thought that they TP'd bot or they were in the jungle. They had no idea that he was just going to get jumped like that. And this is a big loss. Roshan's respawning in 30 seconds now. And if this Gyro has enough farm to stand up there and sit there, I mean, we still see he still dies to the Troll Warlord in a 1v1, but if the rest of this team is really starting to pick up the slack, he's got a BKB on Nick now. He's not afraid of this Nyx anymore.
I mean, this is exactly what we were talking about. The Scourge getting to, you know, this one additional item, and now Tingle King also has that Vlad's and that Solar Crest coming out right now. They see that Roshan hit thanks to the Courier, and they will see the respawn immediately. And boy, are they just going to walk right on in. They do have Alone split pushing in the bottom lane, so if he pressures this barracks, they might be able to get something out of it, but he doesn't know. They don't know exactly where they are. Yeah, it's just so dang quick. Now you got an Axe Gyro, or a Aegis Gyro. You got Lil Nick. He's going to take the cheese, or not. Yep, he's going to take the cheese. He's a hungry boy. He's still growing. I'm looking forward to the days when he's medium Nick and then eventually large Nick. Those are going to be the years that you want to keep your eyes on this guy. Oh, Tano. He gets the blink off.
Whoa.
Nice play by him, but Lil Nick maybe not done. Yule's set up into a Remnant. They got the Necro units here. Nice purge thanks to Lotus Sword, but alone. Just immediately looking for Pingu, and now Vol, the BKB protecting him. In comes the Tingle King, but they cannot do anything to stop this. The Roar, they're waiting to use this on the Troll Warlord. That BKB now has expired. They buy back on that Shaman, and there's the Roar. Lycan in so much trouble, able to survive thanks to a Glimmer Cape, and now on the high ground, it's just Tano versus the rest. He's looking to get down on Pingu, and it looks like he will find him. The mana burn. Oh my gosh. Everyone so low HP. Low. They don't know what to do. Vol will find a shackle onto the Timber Saw. They might be able to finish this guy off. In comes Scourge, and with his assist, they got him.
And now, this is worst case scenario for Ego. You use your ultimate, you use your BKB. He has Shapeshift up in 30 seconds, but it feels like now they can go down mid. That's why Vol bought back. He knows how important this timing is, and I'm not sure what they can do. They don't have Glyph, I don't think.
They don't. They definitely don't. It's on cooldown for another minute and 10 seconds. Just, like, for clarity, right? Troll Warlord was never near this fight, right?
No, he was constantly trying to get to the fight, but he ended up veering off and going just immediately towards bottom as soon as he saw that the Lycan ulti was halfway through, and it's just Rax. They can't walk up.
They can't. The wards plus Scourge with this Aegis, and it is not just a Rax, it's an extremely fast Rax. Benjaz couldn't even walk to the barracks before it was dead.
Oh, and while they do need to be careful now, without the buyback on Vol, if Shadow Shaman does go down, with these super push-heavy lineups, both teams could Rax each other very easily, but again, Ryze just got kited so long. Same with Alone. It took so long for them to kill Vol, and you're not killing both supports anymore. They've got the tools to kite you out, and if any team fight goes south for Egoboys, it's just going to be GG. They're not going to be able to win.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to talk about actually after that fight is, well, we'll get back to it in a moment. They find Pingu. He's trying to find a relocate on someone in. Lil Nick focusing up on this Timber Saw. Rises on the low ground, trying to get kited up, but Scourge, a nice two-man impale, but he has the Satanic, he has the BKB, the Roar, catches the Lycan alone. He has nowhere to go. He's got to run. They take down Shaman finally on the backside, and Rises trying to deal with Little Nick. He gets the vision up on the high ground. He gets the cheese off, and now Rises in so much trouble as Scourge will find that kill. Lil Nick jumps on over to the center of this fight. Big freezing field coming in from the Crystal Maiden. Benjaz doing what damage he can, but Scourge, an absolute monster on this gyro as he finds another. That missile gonna chase this Timber Saw all the way back to the base. They buy back on the Nyx. He's going for those cleaves.
Everyone.
They're gonna buy back 3. Gyro's stuck underneath the tower, but he's got Aegis. This isn't the easiest kill, and they've got Lil Nick coming back here on this Void Spirit. Rises. We'll find that first kill. Oh, they force staff down Pingu. They get him on the low ground. He's able to Ghost Scepter for the moment, but Scourge, he needs to run. The call down's there. There's no save. Lil Nick's been zoned out completely.
Did they get Pingu as well?
Yes, they will. They got him. A nice Crystal Nova there. Tano, an absolute MVP of that fight, just making it impossible for his team to get on top or get to him. Just extended a little bit too far on the gyro.
And it was a crazy dive at first, going but all the way underneath this tower, but you did force out 3 buybacks, the entire supporting cast and Rises. And it's unfortunate, the Alone somehow with the tail end of his ultimate was able to take out Tingle King, and that's when the fight really turned into their favor, but
Nick might be in a lot of trouble here.
Yes, BKB,
Rises is on the way. You will go ahead. He gets that first hit route. Oh my gosh. I was like, if he gets a bash here, he is so dead.
1 mana burn away from not being able to cast another step or anything. He just would have been caught dead to rights.
Absolutely crazy game we're dealing with here. So much going on. We're going for the refresher next on the Beastmaster. So you have those 2 roars. I mean, we've seen how impactful they've been so far. Rises down to a 7-second BKB. Oh, that's why I wanted to talk about that earlier. In that other fight, one of the things that, you know, this Shaman has done is essentially forced the hand of Egoboys. Like, they have to target him. Right? Like,
and we saw in that last fight, 4 heroes just dive on top of him. That's what they have to do. They need to make sure he gets out, because if you get the roar up on the Lycan,
An unlucky situation, walking right up onto the high ground, trying to go for a D ward potentially, but instead you run into a Necro army. They don't want to overcommit just for her, but Little Nick's gonna go and snipe it, and they get the shackle onto the Nyx assassin.
That's a double dieback.
Yeah, it is.
No. And that's the issue, where if you try to kill Vol, you try to extend yourself and he gets out, that's worst case scenario. That's why we keep on seeing them dive so hard to get him, but I don't know if you make that play with your supports on dieback. It looks like it won't necessarily matter, but this is still, it's all the pressure on the map. They have to be so cautious now on Egoboys. The threat of the cut just smoking and finding them it's terrifying. They have to be so cautious.
Yeah, I mean, buyback wise, your only buyback is this Lycan, and he just bought out an Abyssal Blade. So there is no buybacks at all on the side of Egoboys here. So one bad fight, and you might be out.
When we see Troll, he's also trying to finish up his Abyssal Blade. I'm assuming with the call made from Lycan, they're going to just try to double Abyssal Blade someone. It could be Nick, it could be Scourge, most likely not. And Scourge has a basher of his own, so it's going to be that almost... You don't see it coming. You never see the ranged bash coming, but when it hits you, you feel it pretty hard. But here they come. Here we go.
Yeah. Immediate drop. He's going to go ahead and hex himself just so that they can start the chain CC onto the Timbersaw. Rises, takes down that Necro Creep. Call down there as well. They will just clean up that Lycan army. I mean, that's a big part of the Lycan's damage in this fight, honestly. Tier 3 tower goes down.
They weren't able to get anything.
Yeah, minimal commitment here from the cut. They get the tier 3. Wards down, but hey, you'll take it.
They get shapeshift, and there's no reason for them to ever leave this high ground now. They can play as slow or fast as they want, as now the jump to get Vol is so much more difficult. The Lycan was really their one reliant tool to get on top of that hero, and now anybody who gets hexed, they have to get force staff, they need to get saved, they need to get out. It's really up to Tano, I think, at this point. He's got to be the big play. He needs to find a crazy impel. Otherwise, I think they're just going to make a nice little home down here and siege your building slowly.
Yep, the slow siege is all you need. Level 25 picked up on Gyro, so you get those 3 homing missile charges, more stuns that you have to deal with. And with the BKB durations getting as low as they are, it is no joke. We're almost 25 on a couple other heroes. Gyro, or I'm sorry, Troll Warlord, Timbersaw, and Void Spirit all getting pretty close.
Level run Gyrocopter. This is scary.
It's a lot of building damage. It's a lot of attack speed as well. I mean, Scourge obviously would be an amazing hero to try and snag right away alone. Oh, he gets the ranged bash off the side gunner. No, my goodness. Looking mid lane, the Abyssal Blade takes down Pingu immediately. Little Nick in with that BKB. He is here all by himself. He needs some assistance, but guess what? They've caught the Timbersaw on the back. They're jumping back and forth. There's going to be another Abyssal. Catches Volt, but he cops that Ghost Scepter once again. Can they take down the Timbersaw? A second missile coming out. Gyro doing what he can, but he's going to get chain stunned by his own missiles inside a freezing field. No. Oh my god, it's a disaster for Cut.
They just didn't respect Benjaz's Lotus Orb. They absolutely didn't respect it. He just got double homing missile. He couldn't get his Satanic off. He already used his BKB. And this is a sad way to lose if this is how this is going to go down. They have buyback on Gyro, but this is disastrous. Roche is respawning in 40 seconds. This isn't the spot you wanted to be in.
Yeah, I mean, this was the double Abyssal reveal here, right? From Egoboys on both Rises and alone. So you do a lot of damage with those, able to take down both of the supports, or at least pressure both of the supports. Not having Coddle in that fight, such a problem for them, but wow. Yeah, that was, it looked like, you know, the first missile might not have was maybe not going to connect with the BKB, just barely expiring before it delivers that stun. Roshan up in 10 seconds.
Yeah, 10 seconds on Roche. This feels really bad. It feels awful.
This Shadow Shaman needs to make his way bottom. they need to go straight for that Rax. I mean, what else do you do? There's no way to force them out of Roshan. You don't have the damage, so you got to start pressuring that last tier 3, or I'm sorry, the last lane of barracks.
Oh, and it's gonna die so fast. He popped the ulti for it. It's gone.
Yeah, Aegis Cheese Refresher, and now you've got a Refresher Shard on Troll or alone on this Lycan, which, I mean, both of these heroes aren't... Yeah, we'll put it on the Lycan. It's so dang good. 2 shapeshifts now.
And all of this harkens back to just Pingu getting Blink Abyssal Bladed and Vol getting... They just pushed all of those heroes away from the Gyrocopter, and now, I mean, they're trying to get the Rat going, but I don't know if the Rat's going to be good enough.
I don't know either. I mean, Ryze is very strong on this Troll Warlord. A Telescope does drop. Kind of a nice item for them. They will pull Little Nick in as well.
They're very confident underneath their own vision still, but it's very, very scary. If Egoboys ever find that opening onto the supports, it's really just that backline where Tingle King can't sit up there in front just for them.
You also have the level 25s picked up on both Timbersaw and the Troll Warlord, who now has the Battle Trance Strong Dispel, which is so good. Timbersaw grabs that Timber Chain distance. CM, what's her 20? Freezing field damage. That's not bad. And alone,
Lycan 25, the next one, yeah.
Yeah. I say that one's pretty good.
And you see he's going for the dog or wolf bite next, and then you have an even bigger monster to deal with. You're going to have a Lycan ulted troll, and then your problems just get worse from there. It really feels like the cut, they almost have missed their opportunity. They were really in a spot where it felt like they're just going to reset, going to kill this bottom Rax, and then it would have been Megas and this Gyrocopter to deal with, but it feels like it's slipping. It feels like it's really starting to slip into Egoboys' field.
Yeah, I mean, this game's been incredibly back and forth. We've had really close games all day today in general, which has been what is really fun. But, ooh, I just realized Void Spirit picked up a Trickster Cloak. That is very good. Tier 4 items, I mean, Minotaur Horn for Lycan, Trickster Cloak for the CM. You have Trickster Cloak, obviously, on the Void Spirit. The Leveler, like we pointed out in the Telescope, now on Coddle. One of the things that you have to, like, you just have to be able to jump rises normally. That's been the way that they win a lot of these fights, is just getting like a roar initiation and bursting this hero down. But you got an Aegis now, so it's not really an option. Now your target has to be this Lycan, and hope that you can just kite out the Troller and not die during Troll Warlord in that time frame.
Well, and at the same time, it's so important to get on top of this Coddle, on top of the Shadow Shaman. I don't think Tano's died in almost 10 minutes. Tano has been the weaver of success almost on Egoboys. He's been getting so many spells off. He's been so obnoxious to Nick. He always forces him to pop his BKB early. At the same time, on the cut side, both BKBs are 6 seconds right now. And after that, they have to be so cautious of this Nyx. It's that one stun. It's that one carapace that'll just screw them over, and they can't afford to die anymore. Basically, any more deaths, it's just Scourge, and I guess Nick can die once, but at this point, it just feels so bad if they let their lives go. I'm guessing the game gonna start soonish with Alone reconnecting.
They have buybacks all coming off cooldown here again for the side of Egoboys, just 20 to 28 seconds away, and then just a smidgen of gold for some of the others. So I mean, that's a huge power play as well for them if they decide to take a fight in their base, and if they lose a couple of heroes, they can buy back, and then you're looking pretty rough here for the cut. So overall, a very close game though.
The good news is that they are abusing Alone's ultimate cooldown. That's something they've consistently done throughout the game. They've been trying to get a lot done whenever it is on CD, and if they can, it would be great if they could force it, then back off, fully reset, but at the same time, they just always somehow find an opening onto Vol. It's almost the vision advantage from the cut, which is great, isn't enough. Egoboys are finding it still, and it all leads back for me to Tano. Tano keeps on getting the info to find these jumps, and even though they're 2 racks down, I think the cut are going to be very scared to take another fight.
Double damage.
Finally back into the game here. Now, again, as you point out, Tano has just been such a important part of Egoboys' success here. And he's just scouting around on the next assassin, just doing whatever he wants. He's able to steal a DD rune from the enemy team, which is also huge. Ooh, those are some very
the big ones.
Good items. Those are some very good items. Alone getting a spell prism, giving him even that much more cooldown for his shapeshift, his necro, abyssal, BKB, like literally everything. This is such a great item. I don't think they really care all that much about the timeless relic, but did the Radiant pick up theirs? Okay, they got a flicker.
Oh, they've got to be a little bit scared here. Smoke coming out, and they're split up completely if they see Tingle King. Okay, scan misses. They know what's up.
Yeah, the thing is like Vol and them are just trying to like push these lanes out, keep them on the dire side of the map. You do have all 3 lanes still available, and if they can prevent Egoboys from being able to catch this top lane, look at the Shaman. I mean, he's got Spider Legs, Blink. He's just gonna drop wards on your tier 4s, right? Like, and then you have to go back.
And you'd love to see a gem on him as well, but I believe, yeah, they're keeping it on Pingu for now. But you want to be able to drop these wards. You want to force them back into the base. You want to go to this ultra late game. And once Scourge, again, it's going to go back to that. You're going to want to buy a Rapier on this Gyrocopter. And once he has that, then you can start beating into a lot of these heroes. Then you're going to start healing from your Satanic like no other. But it's so dependent on the supports. If anything, the supports in the offline mean so much in this game. Whereas everybody else, it's just such a close game still.
Shiva's going to be the next item for the Timbersaw here. He's getting there. 44 minutes into the game, and both teams like really struggling, are very much afraid to take a fight head to head.
When you check the buyback status, it's just yes.
Yeah, it is. That is yes, very nice. The thing is like Egoboys want to fight, but they know if they do, Vol might just snipe their base. So you have this problem where you have to keep trying to scout out Vol. They're constantly sending all of the Beastmasters.
Oh, whoa. You just used them top. Okay.
All right, that's what we call a lane cut, I suppose. That's not what you see all that often, honestly.
No, yeah, that's interesting.
They're on cooldown now.
And they want to keep this pressure on the map. That's why they're just using the advantage gained from punishing, if anything, Ryze's movements, where they were able to pick him off top, where they were able to get those 2 fights really going for themselves. But at the same time, it's a struggle. They're just giving more and more of the map to the Egoboys, and it's in the downtime where they might be able to find a punishment. The Aegis is going to expire in about a minute on Rises, so nothing coming of this Aegis, but they're continuing to find themselves in a comfier and comfier position on Egoboys, where the cut, they still have to be feeling quite under pressure, as you have this Void Spirit core going into the late game, and it doesn't feel great. You're not the most farmed hero, you're not the best right clicker. You see him getting eclipsed by Tingle King. He's just not able to find the farm anymore.
Yeah, it's one of those things like Void Spirit definitely doesn't scale as well as some of these other Spirit heroes, but you do have a lot of control. You pick up that Dissimulate's done at 2.5 seconds now, so it's more to work with in these fights. It does catch people off guard all the time, and he is gonna, go for an Aeon Disc eventually, so that he can make sure that he stays alive. We already see the Aeon Disc completed on Pingu.
Oh, here we go.
They smoke out. I mean, they're playing this Aegis timing, right? Like it's up in just a couple seconds here. We'll see it get. They'll actually see it potentially with this Hawk.
Yeah, they got a clip of it. Tano did see it with the gem for a second. I think they know the path it took.
I mean, you can't go on to Benjaz. He's baiting. He knows that they want to do this, but going on Benjaz would be an absolute nightmare for the side of the cut. They need to find these other heroes like Rises or Alone.
Smoke used, nothing gained. I hate to say that we're going to a 4th Roche, but neither team wants to breach into the high ground. They both know what a disadvantage that puts them at, and it just gives these opportunities. You're going to get hexed. You're going to get shackled on the high ground. You're going to have to dive way too deep to find Vol in those situations. It's almost like we're going to go even later now as the game's going to stagnate.
Oh gosh, Vol.
He's got a wolf on him.
He needs to run. He gets the Axe Shard delivered, but the wolf breaking his blink, and now he is going to get chased down by Timbersaw. Going for the TP, not going to happen. Picked off by Tano. A great find. I mean, he needs this Axe Shard to help split push, right? That's the idea. The Shackle will just give you those Serpent Wards for 7 seconds. But he does have buyback at least.
Yes, he does, and I don't know if they're going to be able to force it. If anything, Egoboys have the much slower push. They really need to get set up on a building and hit it for a while, but at the same time, they just have the entire map to themselves. They're not even farming their own jungle because they know if we let the cut out of their base, they're going to have an opportunity. Maybe they get a pick with Roar, and they're just not letting that happen. If anything, Egoboys are going to take this as low and slow as possible, and the cut, they've got to feel under the knife right now.
Yeah, I mean, Rises is getting so farmed on this Troll Warlord. Pretty much free to do whatever he wants.
They see a DD as well, but again, they just don't want to push. They don't want to risk anything. A little bit boring if you ask me, but these guys are, this is elimination. Nobody wants to make any mistake at this point. They're just going to continue to build. It's probably going to amount to 26k gold lead, and then Roche will most likely be respawning around that time.
Yeah, that's the idea, right? I mean, you could go for another smoke play potentially here now that Shaman is up. Looks like they're grouping exactly for that thing. Well, do they have a smoke? Does anyone have a smoke?
I think they're out. I think they're
Yikes,
just...
one being delivered.
Yeah, there we go.
There it goes. And they're out. The problem is, guess who's right outside the base, ready to break it? It's going to be Tano on the Nyx. Assassin Pingu just walking up onto the high ground. He sees the Nyx. The stun comes out, does connect. Aeon just going to protect him, but they caught the troll. This is a big kill. Do they add the shackles? He gets the BKB off just in time, and now Scourge, he's got to run Abyssal #1 on the mark. BKB still available. Rises. His BKB is going to expire, and Little Nick, he doesn't have a way out. A Yule's for the moment to protect him. Alone, held in place, but Vol, he's starting to fall low. Troll Warlord caught by the shackle. He gets the battle trance off, and now Little Nick, he needs to be careful. They buy back Scourge. He's getting shredded, gets the BKB off. He needs to Satanic. He needs to heal up. He turns it around. He's taking down Tano. They take down the Troll. They caught CF. They've got the Timber Saw. Every single hero falling one by one. 3 buybacks forced from Egoboys.
And Vol just has such a good grasp on what he needs to be doing in these fights. He uses his buyback. He knows it's coming up off cooldown. He holds everybody down. At the same time, it's Scourge, who's holding his BKB like a madman on the low ground. He's not worried about getting stunned by the Nyx. He knows he's going to be able to get it off, and he just kites it out. Troll had nothing. He had no BKB. He had no ultimate. And if Roche is going to respawn in 20 seconds... And,
yeah, it is a quick respawn.
Oh, no.
Buyback status in shambles. They find Vol, or they find Tano. This is a huge kill if they can pick him off. They're gonna go in. He's got barely any health. He's come right down into the gyro. He's dead. That's a dieback. And now it's Benjaz. He's all by himself. Abyssal Blade comes out onto Pingu, protected for the moment. A dieback on the Timber. They're able to get the call, but he's back in the game. But now it's Lycan. He's going to buy back immediately. Tingle King with the Roar. He's got a refresher. They need to get Rises out. Roar, it's available. You have no battle trance. Rises goes down. 4 diebacks.
That's actually it. That's game. Alone, he saved his ultimate. There's nothing he can do now. He might be able to get Pingu.
He pops the BKB, but Pingu protected by the Aeon just for a moment. He's trying to do what he can, but he's all alone. He gets the Beastmaster Yules.
That's it.
Into the Remnant. 5 heroes dead, and the cut. Call it. GG is out, and they win. They actually hold it out.
In Egoboys, they had a death grip on them for the longest time. It's just that smoke out that Tano was ready for. They knew exactly the fight they were getting into, but it's just all back to Vol. Vol was able to do his job. He was able to keep these heroes pinned down, and there was just nothing they could do. If anything, Rises, he got too scared. He popped his BKB just a little bit too early, and it was just one thing after the other, and that fight just forced out 4 buybacks, and I don't even know what happened at the end there. They just all just waterfalled in at the end, and they could take it.
Well, this graph is an absolute roller coaster.
Oh, boy.
That just spiraled out of control for Egoboys at the end of the game. And I mean, that's just a big shout out to the cut. I mean, they just played an incredible game, being so patient, waiting on the high ground there. That Shaman respawns, boom, smoke, it's go time. Aegis no longer a factor, and they take an incredible fight right outside their base, forcing 3 buybacks, and a convenient, quick Roche respawn forces Egoboys to take another bad fight. And that's it. I mean, the itemization was just absolutely on point from them. The play, split pushing that map constantly. I mean, the cut, they're the better team today, but Egoboys, I mean, they played their hearts out, man. That was an incredible series.
And what a good matchup as well. Both teams hit their timings consistently through the entire series. They kept on pulling the game back in their ring time and time again. Of course, in the first game, you got out. In the second game, then you got Wraith Kinged. But in this game, it really felt like Egoboys had it, and then the cut had it, and then Egoboys had it, and then the cut just able to pull it what felt like out of nowhere. And it just goes back to the Shadow Shaman pick where Vol, it felt like he had everything. He was really the death dealer. He held everyone down on Egoboys or forced such a strong reaction out of them that they just ran out of gas. Yeah, I can't believe it.
I want to go ahead and show everyone the bracket because since that is the end of today, we still got a lot more Dota coming up. Tomorrow we'll be looking at the first of the upper bracket series. It's going to be Undying versus SG Esports and 4Zoomers versus No Ping Esports. The winners will advance to the upper bracket finals. The losers will be playing against Penta Ace and the Cut in the lower bracket the following day. So we've got a lot more Dota ahead. So definitely make sure to stay tuned for that. But we've made it to the end of today. So thank you all so much for tuning in. ET, before we take off, any final thoughts, any final comments that you'd like to make?
Keep your eyes out for the Cut, guys. They're one of the best teams in A coming up. They're gonna be what in Div 1 for DPC this next season. They're the team to watch out for anybody making their break into the NA scene. Really, just props to these guys for playing their hearts out.
Yeah, absolutely. Well said. I'm super excited. This was an incredible first day of playoffs. Some of the best games we've seen in the tournament so far. And it's just getting started. So thank you everyone for watching. Shout out to BTS for hosting this tournament, as it's been a lot of fun. I'm glad to be back here on the mic and joined by none other than ET. So appreciate you being here, brother. And we'll be back tomorrow with more Dota 2 action here on the BTS Pro Series Season 5. Stay tuned, everyone. Have a great night.